Hoping that you're well, wherever you're watching this from, whether you're on Sunday morning like I am, 11 a.m., or whether you're at the other side of the world enjoying a nice evening. So to talk about how to develop paradigms, or how to get the paradigms that you want. So in case you're not aware what a paradigm is, and Bob Proctor, who's been my teacher and mentor for many years, explains it best, which are those programs that have almost exclusive control of all our habitual way of being. So from the time you get up in the morning, to the way you brush your teeth, to whether you're always late for meetings, to whether you're early for meetings, to how you respond emotionally to circumstances, these are all habits, these are all behaviors that are programmed. And the interesting thing about that is that a lot of these programs are typically not your programs, that were installed in you from a very young age, right? And the other thing to be aware of about paradigms is that not all paradigms are bad. Some paradigms could be good. You might be the sort of person that you're the optimist. You might be the person that is always early for meetings. You might be the person that has good health habits. You might be the person that has whatever other habits, you name it, right? But we all have them, right? The one thing that we cannot escape is the fact that we all have paradigms. And if you're not sure about what your paradigms are or whether they're serving you, the best way to analyze that, if you like, is to look at the results that you're producing. Now, you're going to find that some results are good and you're happy with, but some results are not so good. So you might be happy with your health habits. You might not be happy with your exercise habits. You might be happy with your work habits. You might not be happy with your relationship habits. You might be the sort of person that you are constantly pushing people away, right? That could be a paradigm based on the way that you protect yourself. So what I wanted to do today in this quick video that I'm coming on here to share with you is that right now I'm watching The Science of Getting Rich. Bob Proctor is hosting that live, so I'm catching it as he does it. We're on different times of the world. And The Science of Getting Rich is a program that I've actually looked at before. It was the very first program that I invested in many, many years ago. And I have the book here, which you would have seen me, flash up a few times. But Bob Proctor is actually going back through it again. And I was catching part of it yesterday. And he was talking back about paradigms, which is something that I obviously coach a lot of people in network marketing about. But there's one exercise that I wanted to in particular share with you that I think is going to make the biggest difference, right? So if you know that there are paradigms, there are habits, there are behaviors, there is conditioning that you have that is not serving you, and you're like, oh, this is difficult to change, then there's an exercise that Bob Proctor does every day, and he learned it from someone else, and I've learned it from him, and I've been doing it for about 60 days straight now. And that is that the first thing you want to recognize is that paradigms are not necessarily easy to shift, right? Because they're in the program that was put there from a very young age. It controls the way you operate without you even thinking. That's how powerful it is, right? And when you have to try and install a new program based on what we actually do want, and I'm not going to go into how we do that necessarily, but the biggest thing about all of this stuff is about awareness, having an awareness of the fact that there are paradigms, that you have one around many different areas, and they control you, and that they're not easy to shift. So one exercise that I want to recommend that you take on, and I've shared this with some people that I've spoken with recently, and it's something that I do every day, is that you want to start every day identifying which is your strongest, which is your natural writing hand. So let's say you're a right-hander, you might write typically with your right hand. But what you want to start to do is you want to start to write with your left hand, which is the uncomfortable hand, and you might find it really difficult at first. But before you even do that exercise, the first thing you want to do every morning is you want to start to express gratitude for the things that you have in your life, right? So start to be grateful for what you have. So your focus is on gratitude and abundance and not lack and limitation. And it's the right energy, right? So that you can attract more of what you do want. So be grateful for the things that you have now, and not necessarily just what you have now, but you can be grateful for the things that you are declaring for your life right now. Most people don't realize they can do that. So let's say that you want to manifest a certain relationship, a certain job, a certain rank, a certain outcome in your business, whatever it may be, and you've taken the time to create that image in your mind's eye and starting to live from that image, which I spoke about in a recent video, not thinking of your goal, but thinking from your goal, then you might want to start to express gratitude. I am so happy and grateful now that I am, and you're writing the state that you are in your future. But in your mind's eye, it's happening now, because the moment you think about of something in the future, you're separating yourself from it, which means you're not living it, right? And your subconscious is not going to attract what you need for the manifestation unless it thinks that you are already there. in your mind's eye, using the power of your imagination. So be grateful for what you have, maybe your job, maybe your relationships. You may be in an unhappy relationship, but you're grateful for the fact that you're in a relationship, you have companionship, you have a partner, you might be co-parenting and things like that. You may not be happy with your bank account, but you're grateful that you've got a job that pays for the bills, even though that's not ultimately where you want to spend your life doing. You want to do something else. Still be grateful for that, so that the energy is correct. It's the right energy, because you have to expand and grow beyond that space so you can start to manifest the things that you want. So that's the first part, the gratitude part. And I saw a formula a little while ago from a guy that said happiness equals gratitude to the power of 3, which is your ability to not happiness, sorry, gratitude, G to the power of 3, which stood for gratitude, for giving, and for growing, right? So be grateful, give, serve, and grow personally, right? And that is going to contribute towards happiness. That's the formula that he shared, which I think is a good one. But now, coming back to the exercise about paradigm. So what you want to do is every day, you want to start with your opposite hand. You want to start to write this statement out. I am so happy and grateful now that I have realized that my spiritual DNA is perfect. I now begin each day looking for new areas in my life where I wish to see that perfection expressed habitually, right? And I'm not going to repeat it, but you can play it back if you need to play back the video to watch that part of it. Every day you write this out, but you're writing it with your opposite hand, because as you're doing that, what you're realizing is this is not easy. This is challenging, but you're writing something that you're trying to affirm. That's going to be ingrained into your subconscious, going to be programmed. But you're also reminding yourself that to shift a paradigm, because writing with your right hand is a paradigm. It's a habit. You don't have to think about it. It's natural for you. You grew up. That's what you started to do. You're now trying to change that habit by writing with your opposite hand. If you're left-handed, you want to try with your right hand. You might want to get creative, start writing with your feet. Maybe that's a bit more advanced, right? But definitely with your opposite hand. And so that's to remind you that it's not necessarily comfortable to shift the paradigm, but what will happen is, as time goes on, you're going to get to a point where you might be just as fluent with your left hand as you are with your right hand. But the exercise that I want to invite you to take on from today, right, if you want to do this, is to say that I'm so happy and grateful now that I've realized my spiritual DNA is perfect. I now begin each day looking for new areas in my life where I wish to see that perfection expressed habitually. And you write that down once a day after you do your gratitude. Do that, and then start to look at, okay, what are the things that I want to change from a paradigm point of view? And really, a paradigm is a collection of habits, right? It's a collection of habits we call conditioning, which we call, it's a paradigm. So maybe start to look at the results that you're producing in your life around health, happiness, wealth, family, relationships, personal development, impact, relationships, career, right? I have 8 that I'll go through. And then look at the habits, look at the results, and look at whether are they positive, are they negative? Let's say your health is not where you want it to be, then you might say, okay, what are my habits, my habitual things that I do, habits around my health? Well, I don't exercise. I eat too much sugar. I don't eat enough, fruit and vegetables. I don't do this, right? So you must start writing them down. And then you want to write the direct opposite of that, right? That would make a difference. So if I don't exercise, maybe I'll do 10 minutes of exercise a day. I eat too much sugar, then I won't eat sugar. I don't eat fruit or vegetables, therefore I eat fruit and vegetables. And then just start making, get rid of the old list, just scratch it out, chuck it away, and then just write down the habits that you want to focus on, and just start making a small change in each one of those for a week. And then do it again for another week. And recently I did a video on shifting states, which is, again, a very powerful thing that I'm using for myself to shift my states around my health and, my well-being. And it's really powerful to understand that as well. So if you couple all this together and you're doing this exercise every day, there is no doubt in my mind you're going to start to make the mental shifts and program new paradigms that are going to help you achieve everything that you want. So hope that serves you today. Leave me a message, drop me a comment. Let me know if it does. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want to know more about how to shift paradigms and you're stuck and you really want to grow your business or yourself and you want to change and you don't know how to do that, and you're open to having just a breakthrough conversation with me where I can explore whether we may be able to help you further, I do actually teach a program that's a Bob Proctor program called Thinking into Results, which is it's 6 months working together where I take you through each one of the elements of how the mind works, the conscious, the subconscious, and all of these things come together so that you can start to make those paradigm shifts. I'm happy to invest 45 minutes with you to explore whether there's a fit, whether it's something that can, make a difference for you, and we can go from there. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening or your morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, bye for now.